Hey y'all, so I'm standing here with my very nice donkey. You were thinking I was going to say something else, weren't you? Anyways, I'm standing here with Jack. He's getting his evening butt scratches. And we are waiting on our evening time water to fill up. Everybody is out in the fields. As you can see, these guys are a little wet because, well, honestly, if they come up and stand for it, we've been spraying everybody down. It's just been so hot, and by the time it gets dark, they're already dry, basically. For my post this afternoon, I was kind of just going to go over a little bit of what I talked about today in my morning post this morning, and that is what we look for in the first month of refeeding, because Blackjack here has been with us for a little over a month now, and we kind of want to tell y'all what we look for and the signs that we start seeing with these guys as they start getting the proper care that they need. When refeeding a horse that is this malnourished, I take kind of the slow and steady wins the race type thing. When they first come in, I instantly dry lot them. A lot of people think that that's Jack. A lot of people think that you need to just throw food to a horse as soon as they come in. I've had so many people comment, and they're like, you need to feed that horse. You need to give that horse grain. Let it eat as much as it wants. And I'm like, that's the fastest way to kill a horse. Like, literal fastest way you could possibly do it, especially for guys like this. And I'm going to tell you why. It all has to do with the gut. That's what it has to do with, is the horse's gut. If you don't acknowledge and start working on this horse's gut before worrying about how much food you're putting in it, then you are in for a very bad day and some expensive vet calls. With Blackjack, hi baby, I did the usual thing that I do with guys like this. I put him straight on the dry lot. Dry lot does not have a lot of grass on it, hence dry lot. And he gets 24-hour access hay right here. He gets to munch on that as much as he wants, because that is nothing but field hay. That hay has actually came out of fields here. They came out of our fields. So we know what's in it. We know that what that is not high in sugars. It's not going to give him issues. It is exactly what he needs, but it's not as sweet and not as potentially dangerous as just straight regular grass. Because I mean, we have all kinds of fields we could throw him in, but we don't want to do that, because if we throw him straight on that grass, you're going to look at a lot of issues, especially if that grass is really high in sugars, because then you're going to go into a whole other world of problems. He also gets very small bits of alfalfa, and I'm not talking alfalfa pellets. I'm not talking of compressed alfalfa. This is alfalfa that is straight alfalfa, straight forage, and it ain't a lot, but it's something rich that we're kind of introducing to the stomach. So let me tell you now why I prefer to start with forage instead of just throwing grain on them, because a lot of people think, oh, if the horse is malnourished, you need to start giving it a whole bunch of grain. You need to start throwing grain on it. You know, grain has all these wonderful things in it, like fats and sugars and supplements and all this other stuff. Why don't you throw grain on it? And that's really simple. Well, it's because a horse's natural diet is forage. A horse's natural diet is to be walking around, traveling, foraging. That's what their gut is used to before we came up with the grain and everything else. So simply what I'm doing is I'm giving his gut what it is naturally designed to break down, and that is grass and hay. It's forage. It's what their gut is designed and knows to break down. Not that feed is bad by any means. This guy has got to start being on feed, and the more we're able to increase it, the better he's going to be. It's just not the best thing to start them out on when they've been starved. Something that is very important that I learned is that horses do not create saliva like we do, just like a near constant. They don't do that. The only time that they create saliva is whenever they are chewing, when they are saliva glands to activate and chew and produce saliva to help them digest and take down what they're currently eating. Or you've seen a horse licking chew whenever they're just standing still. That's ways that they do it. But the important thing is saliva helps them break down food, and it helps their gut. If a horse is not eating a whole lot, they're not going to have a whole lot of guard on their gut. They're not going to have a whole lot of protection on their gut from what you're about to put in them. When a horse has been starved, it means they have been without food. I mean, that being said, they're not eating as much. They're not producing as much saliva. Their gut is not working as much as it needs to be working to be able to function properly. It's going to be dry, which then you got to worry about something called impaction. And impaction is basically you throw a whole bunch of stuff on them, something's going to get stuck because it's not going to have enough fluid to properly break down whatever you're putting into their gut and allow it to pass through. It's going to impact and create into like a little ball, which is then going to impact everything else. And your vet bill goes from non-existent to you're looking for credit card loans. Another thing is if they've been deprived of food, more than likely they've been deprived of water. So that means, come on, dehydration is going to come with starvation. You see it pretty much all the time. That means that gut has even less free fluid and even fluid that it needs to function. It doesn't have that either. So you have a gut that is completely empty and it doesn't have the bacteria that it needs to be able to break down food. This gut is no longer working basically, and you need to get it going again and getting the wheels turning and helping it prepare to take on food. So our main goal in the first month is to get that gut ready to take on the higher quality feeds, the higher quality hay, and more access to grass to allow them to really be able to put on what they need and get that back. We need to get that gut ready, and you run into less fear of ulcers, you run into less fear of impaction, of colic. Colic is a completely different monster. And I'm not saying that these things can't still happen, because they can, because it's very delicate when you get to a horse of this stage. But I'm just telling you, this is what we have done. This is what works for us a lot. But keep in mind, some horses have just been abused so far that there is no coming back. So just always keep that in mind. You can do everything right, but sometimes it still doesn't work. And with Blackjack, we have been seeing a lot of improvements in his gut. From his stool is so much better than it used to be. Like, we went through a stage of diarrhea. I thought that was about to kill me. Oh my God, that was so bad. I was texting our vets just like panicking. I was like, help, help, help. And they were like, it's just the access to basic needs that a horse needs. Like, he was so deprived of it that just access to the simplest of things sent his gut into a frenzy, no matter how small the amount was that we introduced him to. Oh, but he's doing so much better. That was my one scare. Every horse that comes here gives me one scare, and that was his one scare. His stomach is also not as sucked in as it was, so therefore we can't see as much of his lower ribs as we were able to see. And he's been putting weight on. It's been very, very slow, which is what we expect. That's fine. Anything is better than nothing. But we are really just seeing like him getting... I know it's hard to see because he is still so low in body score, but he is getting a belly, and we are so hopeful. So that's what we've been doing with this guy, and he still has a long road ahead of him. I mean, he's not out of the woods yet, but our first month, like, he has made it through the first month, and that has been incredible for him. And he has a amazing appetite. He is constantly in the hay. He's downing water. He's doing everything he's supposed to, and his gut is responding really well. So we are very hopeful that he is going uphill, and that he will make a decent recovery. We have our fingers crossed that that's the direction that we're heading. Sweet boy. So that has been the afternoon info dump with me. And thank y'all for following along. Thank y'all always for supporting and helping us so much and helping these guys. Because truly, we couldn't do none of this without y'all. Just the support and the love and sharing, commenting, donations, like all of it. Thank y'all so much. We truly could not do this without y'all. So thank you, and we will see y'all tomorrow.